unique life begins at conception insofar as you get sperm meets an egg and you get the unique DNA that flows. This is true. In my mind, I don't value that unique life until it has a conscious experience or something that I think is like worth preserving. In the same way, I think like if you had a 1-week-old embryo and let's say I accidentally threw it away. I was doing some IVF thing. I was like, whoops, and I fucking dropped it in the trash. I wouldn't consider like I just killed someone. I snuffed out a potential life, but I wouldn't consider this murder. This would not like be skin off my back insofar as like, oh, I would have the guilt of having killed someone off my conscience. I just don't view that as well. And that's the only reason why I don't mind abortion up to a certain level.
So just that I understand what's maybe define the terms a little bit here. So when you say life, are you saying consciousness determines life?
Life that I value, because the point is, people are gonna say life begins with conception. People say, oh, life begins with heartbeat, life begins with like conscious thought. I just like look, it's all life. Skin cells are life. What I say is, when do I value it? When do I think it should be preserved?
So I would simply say that I believe all human life matters, and I would argue once sperm meets egg and Homo sapien DNA is formed, I believe, and once cells start replicating, I mean, right now we're all just Homo sapiens. We're going to keep cells replicating until we're dead. And so I think if that's just the start of the process, then they deserve to be protected as we protect humans as well. If we're going to protect humans now, through our sperm and egg, and Homo sapien DNA, they should be protected just like we are.
I understand wanting to protect it, but treating it the same way as a human, I think there's just so many cases I can bring up that I think you'd probably say this doesn't really make sense. So, for example, if I were to actively try to harm you right now, I should be charged with assault, right? Like stab you or throw acid on your face or whatever. If a woman, I don't know, let's say she like did meth or drank, knowing fully she was going to give birth and is actively harming her future child, should she be charged with like assault? Should she be charged with like attempted murder? Like I don't think these things are like.
So I actually do believe that.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I do believe
at least that's consistent.
Yeah, I actually believe that because I mean I've seen the results. Like there was my old youth pastor adopted a girl and her mom did meth and stuff before she was born, and now she has all these problems. She's had a very hard birth. They're trying to have a hard time to keep her alive. And now she's having tons of problems, and her mom caused that, and she, again, I mean, against her own will, and because she couldn't stop it. I do believe that is wrong. So that's where.
And do you view it as the equivalent of like me trying to assault you, sort of thing? Like, don't get me wrong, I do think it's wrong, but I'm not saying I don't. I'm just like, it's hard for me to say like this like, let's say a 8-week-old fetus is the same as a human in the sense that we should treat these things exactly the same. What I'm trying to get to is I think these things are at the very least different, even though they're both unique human lives. We are not treating a fetus, not like society, but like you and I probably agree that we don't treat these things the same 100%. There's some distinction.
So I agree, but I think we should treat them the same. It's kind of another argument because I believe that we should treat them the same because when because I have people come up to me and they're like, and I always tell them, sperm meets egg, your DNA is formed, and your cells will continue to replicate until you are born, and your cells will continue to replicate until you're dead.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I think it should be treated as such from start to end. And so like that's why. I mean, that's truly what I believe.
Do you think that abortion should be treated as murder? Like,
yes.
Prosecuted?
I think the doctor should be prosecuted.
What if the woman self-aborts? Like, she takes a pill or she...
Yeah, I would say.
Okay, yeah, most people won't bite that bullet. But yeah, if you think, like, a woman who does an abortion to herself goes to jail the rest of her life, that's...
I mean, even like sometimes when people do, like I would even say, like if you want to say it's second-degree murder, like I'd say
why would it be any different?
So I would say because, like I would make the argument that a lot of women that I meet in like college stuff that I've actually changed their mind on abortion was they just were given untrue information.
Yeah, but that, so in real life, if someone lies to you and says, "Hey, that guy's trying to kill me, go kill him," and you shoot him. You were given a lie. You still shot a guy. That's not any less.
Sure, but in many states right now, that's considered manslaughter.
Considered manslaughter if you kill someone under
there are state cases. Yeah, there are cases in the past where that was manslaughter.
So you would say it as like these people are being deceived into doing an abortion and they don't fully understand the weight of their consequences.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you would still put them in jail, but not for like first degree, maybe like second.
If they knowingly know it's murder and they go like, for example, when I saw a girl on campus one time that was like, I'm gonna get pregnant and have an abortion and kill my baby just to spite you. It's like if you're gonna do that, it's like okay, well then maybe it's like I think
maybe she was trying to be inflammatory. Like I don't see the thing is
right? Well,
I can't get an abortion, right? But I wouldn't. I might say it to be inflammatory, but I don't believe it's murder. Right? So I would give the second degree. How do you prove someone believes that life begins at conception and they're killing a baby?
So
right?
sure, that'll be the question, right? So I would more have said is like I'd be even more in favor of if you want to rule it as some new rule, even though I think you should just prosecute it as murder. And I think it should be first, if a doctor does it, I think it's first degree murder. And for the time being, for me, just because most people that I've met.
Sorry, can I pause? Why if the doctor does it? What if the doctor also has the same belief that life doesn't begin at conception?
I believe that doctor, if you're a doctor, you should absolutely be educated enough to know that that is not the case. And you know
this
life,
is what I'm saying.
they know life begins at conception because they know the cells are replicating and they are going into
They're aware of this in the same way you and I are, right? But again, when I said if I did this, I wouldn't consider it murder because I don't believe it's really like a valuable human life when it's a 2-week-old embryo, right? Like I just think of this as a clump of cells that yes, will divide into a human, but is not yet one. So I don't quite value that potential as much as I would value it if it was fully grown. So if a doctor had that belief, why should they get first degree murder?
Sure, but if I tell you, well, it's a clump of cells, and then so are you, then what would you say about that? Thank you so much for debating the other day. I saw you debating, and thank you so much for coming. I just want to say thank you so much for coming.
Brian, do you want to do a quick run and come back at 5:30?
Sorry.